Sir, shall we start?
Yes, yes.
A very good afternoon to all the participants, dignitaries, and a special greeting for the day to our resource person, Dr. Arun Sharma. Dr. Arun Sharma completed his PhD degree from Thapar University, Patiala in 2009. Prior to this, he did MTech CSE from Punjabi University, Patiala in 1997. Currently, Sir is serving as a Professor Dean, Examination Affairs, and Founder, Head of Department AI and Data Sciences in Indira Gandhi National Delhi Technical University for Women. He also is having additional responsibilities as Director, NIRF Accreditation and IQAC Committee. His area of interest includes software engineering, soft computing, machine learning, big data. Under his guidance, 10 students have been awarded PhD degree. He also has published more than 100 research papers in both national and international journals. He is also author of 2 books. He is a senior member of IEEE and life member of CSI. We are truly delighted to have you here, sir. And I once again take this privilege to welcome you to this platform. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shreya ma'am, for introducing me. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to share my screen. Actually, it is not enabled from your side. I'm not able to share my screen. It is saying that host disabled participant screen. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ravi, sir.
So please enable the screen sharing option for me. I am not able to share my screen.
Now you can, sir.
Yes. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
So once again, good afternoon, everyone. The topic which I selected for today's presentation is based on outcome-based education, which is the need of an hour in current scenario. As per new education policy, also we are talking about learning outcomes, course outcomes, program outcomes, and basically the entire paradigm is shifting towards outcome-based education. It is leading towards education reforms also. It is leading towards examination reforms also. We need to change our examination system entirely from basically straightforward questions towards learning based questions or assignments or quizzes or whatever. So first, in today's presentation, I'll cover brief of a new education policy, the salient points, the challenges of the existing system, then what is new in new education policy, how the evaluation, the assessment, or the examination system is changing as per a new education policy. Then I'll briefly discuss about outcome-based education, the concept of learning outcome in terms of course outcomes, program educational outcomes, maybe program specific outcomes, and ultimately the program outcome. So that is basically known as COPO or COPEO, PSO, and PO outcome-based education. So in this, just to start with, in 2007, Bloomberg, that is a very big consulting or analytical company, and they say that India will have the world's largest workforce in 2027, and it will be more than 1 billion people will be ready for working in the industry, or you can say the skilled labor workforce, and it will be total 18% of the global labor force. So labor force is not, I'm not meaning with labor, but it is a skilled labor force basically. And just to share with you another fact that India is the youngest country in the world. Half of its population is under 25, and 2/3 are less than having a age less than 35. So obviously, this is the you can say the segment where education is playing an important role. So if this particular segment is getting education in a well structured way, obviously the country will grow, and we will reach to the heights in terms of growth and the development of our country. If we talk about the challenges in the existing system, as we all know that we are based on rote learning. If we see the examination system, again the questions are explain this, define this, what do you mean by X, or similar type of question. So it is not giving us, or it is not giving the students basically that creative thinking or analytical thinking or cognitive thinking through which he or she can do something innovation, some innovation, or can develop those type of skills. So it is severely fragmented system we have, that we know. Emphasis is not much on cognitive skills or learning outcomes. As I said, learning outcome is basically the key in current education system. And through this new education policy, we are moving towards learning outcomes. Either the terms are different. Either we are calling it as course outcome, in broader sense it is program outcome, but the ultimate objective of this new education policy, or you can say that the new academic system which we are going to follow in next 10-15 years, it will be based on learning outcome. Our system is very rigid. A computer science student will not have the flexibility to study say the psychology, or maybe a psychology student, if he or she is interested in learning computer science. Obviously, this particular curriculum or the existing system does not allow him or her to study the subject in which he or she is interested, other than his normal curriculum, which he is studying as a part of the program. Say in my university, being a technical university, the students are interested in learning say computer science. The student is interested in learning nanotechnology. It is not the part of the curriculum of BTech computer science. So obviously he or she has to put extra efforts in learning this particular subject, because we don't have facility for this particular subject. So this way our system is bit rigid in our country, and we are not giving the flexibility to study wide variety of subjects to the students. As basically the next is limited access, particularly in socio-economically disadvantaged areas. The education has not reached to its you can say the down the line in all areas in our country. The system is varying. So this is another challenge. The technical education more or less is in English, so we are not focusing on local languages where the student say from remote areas can learn the technology, or maybe other the subjects in which he or she is interested in his or her mother tongue or in local language. So these are some of the challenges basically where our education system is struggling nowadays. Limited teacher and institutional autonomy, that is there, because institutions are under, if it is an affiliated college, obviously the college has to follow the guidelines of the university, and whatever the norms, regulations, guidelines are there in the university, all the institutions have to follow those guidelines. So if my college is a branded college, or you can say an excellent college, I'm not having any autonomy in terms of my curriculum, in terms of my examination system, or any other thing. Though we have the concepts of autonomous colleges, but it has not reached to that level. Basically, UGC planned that around 10 to 20% of the institutions will come under autonomous college, but still till date this has not reached. These are some of the challenges that we all know. Our regulatory system is not very effective. There are so many regulatory agencies in our country. For B.Ed, we have NCT. For technical education, we have AICT, then over and above, we have UGC. So there are so many regulatory agencies, and obviously there are some confrontation also. Guidelines are not very conducive. So, and it has, all these challenges have led to the formation of new education policy, which is going to change the scenario, where our focus will be shifting from rote learning towards implementation based learning, maybe project based learning, maybe activity based learning. We means the shift will be from normal just getting the degree. It will be towards skill based learning. It will be towards choice based learning, where the student will have a wide variety of choices of the subjects. Wherever he or she is interested, they can take the subjects from their choice, and then they can pursue education for that particular subject, and can make their career in that particular subject also, other than the subjects which they are studying as their regular curriculum. So NEP 2020 was proposed with some targets, and it says that by 2030, all the girls and boys will have an access to quality early childhood development, care and preliminary pre-primary education. So basically, they have set the guidelines for every phase, starting from you can say the pre-nursery, pre-primary to the secondary education to the higher education also. So here they are talking about pre-primary, then it is free, equitable and quality primary and secondary education, maybe up to 12th, to effective learning and outcomes, so that they can choose their career, or they can choose their stream in a proper fashion. Then it also says that by 2030, all women and men to affordable. Here it is free, but here for higher education or for technical or vocational quality education, they are saying that it should be on affordable price, cost. So these courses will relate to the vocational training centers, maybe to the universities or colleges, and all higher education aspects. So basically, these are the targets which NEP is targeting for achievement. They're saying that eliminate gender disparities and ensure equal access, be it men and women, be it the persons with disability, be it the persons with this particular aspect like indigenous people and children in vulnerable situations. So the aim is to provide quality, affordable education for all, starting from pre aspects till the higher education. So the vision of this NEP is like this. Now, as a salient feature of NEP 2020, it says that university will mean a multidisciplinary institution of higher learning. It will not be like my university is a technical university, so we are running only the technical programs. So now this NEP says that all the universities will offer multidisciplinary programs. Maybe we will offer BTech programs, but it will have the subjects from arts, psychology, or from any other domain. Maybe like IIT has started some programs in medical domain also. Few subjects from medical domain they are offering to their BTech students. So this way, we will be able to provide multidisciplinary education to all the students. So the facility wise, every institute of higher education will be equipped with this multidisciplinary aspect, where the subjects from all streams, be it from engineering or management, or maybe from say allied sciences, or maybe say humanities. So all the education will be provided to the students through these multidisciplinary universities or institutions. There will be two types of universities. The first will be the research intensive university, where the main focus will be for research, though it is not like they'll only do the research. So in that particular case, the equal emphasis will be given on teaching and research. The student will take admission in the same way, but the focus, maybe say if we relate it with the say engineering education, so focus for the projects or the internship will be on research. So these and the funding, or you can say the development of the university will be towards the research aspects. So this type of university will be called as research intensive universities. So focus will be on research and development aspect. Second variety of university will be where the focus or the emphasis will be towards teaching learning process. So these institutions or these universities will be called as teaching intensive universities. So the focus will be shifted. Nowadays we are having the universities at the same level. The people are doing research, they are involved in teaching also. So it is just a mixture. But now this under this new education policy, the universities will be earmarked based on the outcome, either a research intensive university or a teaching intensive university. The colleges will be under this category, that is autonomous degree granting colleges. They will have an autonomy as far as academic aspects are concerned. They can have their own curriculum, they can have their own examination system, and the focus will be on basically teaching to the undergraduate programs. So in universities, we can have PG and research programs also, but the focus for autonomous colleges will be to provide quality education, quality teaching for the undergraduate program. So the only three varieties of institutions will be there. Sooner or later, maybe say next 10, 15 days, 15 years, this affiliation type of concept will be phased out. There will not be any college which will be affiliated to a university. Every college will be either a university or will be an autonomous college, where this college will have the full autonomy for running the programs for the UG students. Or if it is a university, then obviously either a research or a teaching intensive university. Open and distance education, basically the objective is by 2030, we want to achieve this particular target, that every person of this country should get affordable education. And obviously it will be possible if we provide the education through distance learning or online mode also. So institution will have the option to run ODL or the online programs. But for that, NEP is proposing that all the institutions who are interested in offering these programs should be having this accreditation. Now, currently we have like NBA or NEC type of accreditation. The situation, the system will differ in that particular case. So, but yes, surely there will be some accreditation agency which will accredite the institution. And if you are getting a certain grade under that accreditation process, you can run open distance learning or online programs. As I said, single stream HEIs will be phased out over time. It will be a multidisciplinary institution who will offer the programs in multidisciplinary aspects. Maybe in engineering, the student can study the subjects from psychology, or maybe from medical, or from maybe any other stream of his or her choice, other than the core subjects which he or she is intended to complete to complete the program. The system of affiliated colleges will be gradually phased out. So obviously, every institution will be either an autonomous college or the university under either research or teaching intensive university. Overall, higher education sector will aim to be an integrated higher education system, including professional and vocational education. So focus will be on vocational education, on skill-based education, on professional education, where the student or the graduating candidate can be employable. He or she can get a better job based on the education which he took during the higher education aspects. So like these terminologies will be, you can say, will not be there. The university, either the university or the college. That will be only two terms in new education system. In current system, we have, as I said, so many, you can say, regulatory bodies, so many financial bodies who are supporting our education system in India. But as per NEP, these bodies will be independent as far as the aspects of regulations are concerned, or accreditation are concerned, or funding or standards are concerned. So NEP is will be having this National Higher Education Regulatory Council. This is NHERC, which will be responsible for all regulations for every higher educational institutions, be it engineering or science education or maybe humanities education, except legal and medical. So maybe for these two aspects, there will be a separate regulatory body. But other than these two, every institution will be under NHERC, that is National Higher Education Regulatory Council. So all the guidelines, like in current system, we have AICTE, we have Council of Architecture, we have NCTE. So all will be merged into one NHERC regulatory body. On a similar way, like we have so many accreditation aspects nowadays. We have NIRF ranking, we have NPA, we have NIRF, this NEC, and similar other accreditation aspects we are having in current system. But there will be one National Accreditation Council, which will be responsible for all the accreditations to all the higher education institute, be it an engineering institutions or maybe a science education institute or any other educational institute. So there will be one regulatory body, that is NHERC, one accreditation council, that is NAC, higher education grants council like UGC, which is responsible for granting funds to the universities. So in that case, it will be higher education grants council, which will support financially to the universities to develop the infrastructure, to develop other things in the institution. For academic aspects, for learning outcomes, guidelines will be framed by General Education Council. So there will be separate councils responsible for individual aspects, and they will take care of all educational institutions, be it university or the college. For research, they have a separate research foundation that is proposed under this NEP, that is only for funding the research. So the universities under this research intensive aspects will get funding for promotion of research, for say IPR, patents, and promotion, research promotion. The funds will be given by NRF, that is National Research Foundation. So all these 4-5 agencies will work towards the education system, towards implementing the new education policy. Though guidelines have been provided by the government or by the ministry for NEP, but yes, it is in its infancy age. It is in discussion age only, and the regulations, the guidelines will be framed in due course, and actual picture will come out only after getting these guidelines from the concerned agencies. As in the previous slide, it says the important point is all HEIs, government and private, to be treated on par. As far as current scenario is concerned, in existing system, private and government universities or colleges or institutions are treated differently. In most of the cases, private institutions don't get fund from any of the agency, but now the NEP says if the private institution is doing well, they are doing excellently. They are doing excellent work in their research or teaching learning aspects. So the norms will be same. Regulatory bodies will be the same. All will be managed, governed by the similar type of regulatories, and no different norms will be there for private and the government institutions. So common norms to be placed in for private and public higher educational institutions as far as regulations, funding, and the type of universities are concerned. Like in current scenario, deemed to be universities, mostly deemed to be universities are private institutions. But in that particular case, obviously the categories are only two. One is autonomous, another is university. So private and government institutions, there will not be any difference as far as recognition, regulations, funding, and other aspects are concerned. That is going to be a major change in NEP, common entrance exam. If I'm talking about, say, engineering aspects, we are having JEE, but there are so many universities who conduct their own entrance exam. But now in this NEP, there will be one common entrance exam through which all students will get admissions in different universities in engineering program. Maybe one common exam for taking admission in graduation normal, say BSc or BSc programs, or maybe separate exam for BA type of program. So there will be one common entrance exam that will be conducted by a like currently we have NTA, that is National Testing Agency. So NTA conducts the exam for NET, for so many other exams are conducted by NTA. But now that particular agency will be responsible for common entrance exam in related aspects. Say for engineering, there will be one exam, and every university or the institution will be abide by that particular exam, and they will take admissions through that particular result also, only. MPhil, yes, it is going to be closed now. So what will be the advantage? Because the regulations are same, there are a few agencies which will you can say monitor the quality of the educational institutes. So quality standards, quality will be there. So obviously it will be easier for setting up of a new higher education institutions. Now in NEP, government has given permission to start international to start their campuses for you can say international players also. The universities from other countries can open their campuses in India a similar way. For example, IIT can open its campus anywhere outside India. So it will help us in growing the system in a better way. So the all will be governed by these regulatory bodies. So obviously the institutions who are will perform exceptionally well will be supported, will be funded, will be mentored by the government to expand their institutions. Public private, in most of the countries, the universities are private universities. So in India also we have so many very good universities which are private universities like Tapar or Birla or other universities. But if we see the quality of means other private institutions, that is not up to the mark. So this type of competition where the international universities will be established in India, it will create a good competition, and the private universities will have to compete these universities for getting admission, for getting recognition. So obviously it will be healthy competition, and it will help to grow the education system in a better way. These are some of the guidelines. It will not be in one day that the institution will be converted into autonomy. So there will be certain norms over a period of time. The university, the colleges will be given autonomy based on the performance, based on the quality criteria which they follow. So maybe after fulfilling all those criteria, the institution will become autonomous, where they can run their own programs, they can run their own academic system, they can have their own examination system also. So lot many flexibility will come into the system. The one major aspect that fee will be the upper limit for fee will be decided by the regulatory bodies. In India, there are few universities which are charging exorbitant fee. So, but this upper limit will be decided by these regulatory bodies. All fees will be fully disclosed, and there will be no arbitrary increases during the period of enrollment of any student. So to provide this affordable education to all stakeholders, be it at primary level or at secondary level or at higher education level, the guidelines will be framed by these agencies, and every HEI, higher education institutions, or other players in education system will be abided by those guidelines. Now, as far as you can say, these were the guidelines for the institutions. Now, as far as students are concerned, few salient features of new education policy is undergraduate degree will be of either 3 or 4 years duration. Though in current system also we have 3 years graduation degree in BSc or BA type of course programs, and 4 years duration in case of engineering education. But the salient point which NEP is giving, that is multiple exit option and appropriate certification. After first year, if you're not able to continue due to any reason, or if you are getting a job opportunity, the student is free to drop that particular program. After 1 year, he'll get a certificate. He can join industry based on on the knowledge which he or she has acquired during this first year. Maybe after 2 years of having an experience, he wants to complete his education, so he can continue the second year and then can complete his or her education and get a degree. So there will be multiple exit options for the student. So depending on the scenario, depending on the market or the job availability, or maybe some personal reason, if the student is not able to continue his education, because in current system we don't have this option. If I'm not able to continue for third year, obviously my 2 years are waste. But now in new education policy, student can continue his education or her education maybe after 3, 4, 5 years also. So it will give a flexibility or a freedom to students to choose their career in between during their program of study also. Another interesting point in NEP is academic bank of credits. Say there are 80 credits which I have to achieve in my program, the whole program. I'm able to say secure 20 credits so far, and now these 20 credits will be stored in my academic bank. Like we have a provision of like DigiLocker or NED, National Academic Depository type of system, where we store our documents. The same way we can store our credits also related to our program, and then these credits can be utilized at any point of time. So maybe my credits, say, suppose I have taken admission in University X, I have achieved certain credits. Now I'm shifting my base from, say, New Delhi to Kolkata, and I want to utilize those credits. So I'll take admission in another university in Calcutta, and my credits, which I have stored in my academic bank, will be basically accepted by the university at Calcutta, and I'll continue my education if the compatibility of the programs are there, obviously. So I cannot continue BTech program, and if in Kolkata I don't have any you can say the BTech program. So the programs, if there is a compatibility between the programs, then the credits which I have already secured, I have already attained at one particular institution, can be utilized for another can be utilized at another institution. I can attain, or I can get another minimum required credits, and altogether, if my credits are equal to the minimum number of credits required for getting a degree or a certificate or a diploma, then I'll get that degree, diploma, or certificate, or whatever it is. So it is not like it may help, especially say women candidates. Say during the program, if a girl is married and she is not able to continue her education, say after 2 years, then the credits which she has already earned can be utilized, and can be utilized for completing her degree in another institution. So that is a remarkable, you can say, point under this NEP, where academic bank of credit will be utilized for completing the education in a later phases. Student will have their own learning trajectory. They can decide the achievements of the credits as per their own choices, as we have this choice-based credit system in NEP, though it is there in existing system also, but it gives the flexibility to the students to identify the subjects, to identify the duration, or you can say the learning phase or learning trajectory of those subjects at their own path, and as per their requirement, their choice, their scenario or circumstances, they can learn, or they can get those credits as per the requirement. As I said, an engineering student may be interested in learning psychology. So in current system, this feature is not available, but in NEP, there is no hard separations between arts and sciences, or between curricula or extracurricular activities, between skill-based learning and normal traditional professional education. So it is a multidisciplinary aspect, where a student of engineering may be interested in psychology, may be interested in study art subjects or art subjects. Now we don't have the degrees or the programs in silos. BA student is only confined with the subjects which are available in his or her academic curriculum. But now the BA student can also learn the subject or can study the subject from computer science if he or she is interested. So though in at international level, these type of systems are already in place, but in our current system, yes, there are certain you can say challenges. Now in NEP, hopefully we'll be able to implement all these things and we'll be able to achieve those you can say targets which NEP has set for the country. Now in NEP, the emphasis is not on rote learning, but it is on the learning which is based on the project-based aspects, which is based on the skill-based aspects, or basically it is for the holistic development or the overall development of the student. So the focus will be on cognitive learning, on critical thinking, the decision-making aspect, because in the existing system, if we see our education, our examination pattern, the questions are still the same, having the same pattern. Define this particular rule, apply this particular rule in this domain. So if you talk about Bloom's taxonomy, which I'll cover in next few slides. So the focus is only on first, second, or third level maximum. But now we have to reach up to the last level, that is sixth level, where we are talking about creativity, innovation, critical thinking, cognitive thinking, case-based thinking, or maybe practical-based thinking. So this particular system will help to build a confidence in the student that he or she can work in the industry. His or her skill can be utilized for getting a better placement or better employment in the industry after getting this particular degree or program or whatever the course he is doing. Ethics, human values, these are the core to the examination system, to the education system. So ethics, human values, professional ethics, empathy, respect for elders, for gender sensitivity or cleanliness. So all these aspects are the part of new education policy through some activities, maybe through some clubs, societies. All these aspects will be imbibed or into the education system, so that student will be, you can say, this is basically for the holistic development of the student. So again, the focus will be on Divyang students, to the students who are underprivileged or where the education is not reaching to that level. So the focus will be basically the overall at the mass level. It should reach to everyone, and everyone should be basically, you can say, should get the opportunity for education. So in a summary, it is the for getting the education, for getting the admission at higher education, there will be one national common entrance exam. It's not fixed whether it is a twice a year or wherever, means thrice a year, like JEE this year it was conducted 4 times. So the guidelines will be framed, but yes, there will be common entrance test. The degree will be 4 years with multiple exit system. There will not be any affiliation type of concept. Over next 15 years, every college will be an autonomous college or will be a university, maybe a teaching university or a research university. There will be an upper cap on the fee. The institution cannot charge a very high amount. The regulatory bodies will decide the upper limit of the fee. And most important is now the universities, the international education, basically the system. The Indian institutions can open their campuses outside India, or the premier institutions which are top 50, top 100, or top 500 ranked institution all over the world can open their campuses in India, so that the quality can improve, because it will bring a new competition among the stakeholders or the institutions, and the institution will work for quality education. So as I said, there will be one testing agency for conducting entrance exam for undergraduate and graduate level, depending on the stream. So one NTA type of thing we already have. Maybe it is not clear whether the same name will be there or the name will be changed, but yes, one common entrance exam will be there. The education policy will focus on regular formative CCE based pattern, means continuous assessment based pattern. So as far as assessment is concerned, it will not be based on midterm exam and the final exam. This is based on the continuous assessment. There will be so many individual small components during the semester or during the year of study, where the student will be required to perform in that particular component. Maybe it is a surprise quiz, maybe this assignment, or maybe some test, maybe the final exam or whatever. So, but it is based on formative activity based assessment. It is not pure copy paper based assessment. It may be based on some internship or maybe some field study, maybe through some activity, or maybe project, minor project, major project, or whatever. So the components will be different if we compare it with the existing system of education, where we are having certain assignments and then we are having some exams. Now it will be formative and competency based. So depending on the program, depending on the subject, the components of the assessment will be different, and based on those components and the assessment, the student will be evaluated. So focus will be on assessment for learning. It will not be based on the rote learning. It is basically focus on the analysis, the critical thinking, or the cognitive thinking type of thing. So technology will play a major role in the assessment aspects. The AI or machine learning or deep learning type of technologies will be prominent in assessing the students, will be used for, you can say, developing the framework for assessment of the students in various aspects. So critical thinking, interactive classes, and experiential learning, where the creativity, innovation, activity, maybe the project development, maybe research-based activity or group discussion type of activity will be focused. So the focus will be on skill-based learning. Now, as I said, the focus for assessment for the education, for the examination will be shifted from content-based to the competency-based. And it will be a 360-degree holistic progress card, where basically the student will be assessed what he is learning, what is the outcome of his learning. And this outcome is a measurable aspect. So far, we are measuring it in terms of marks only, but in the new assessment-based system, there are several other aspects also. We in existing system, we are separating extracurricular activities and the curricular activities. But in this outcome-based learning or outcome-based assessment, direct and indirect assessment. Indirect assessment may involve curricular and extracurricular activities, and then the overall learning outcomes will be assessed for the student. So this is the same assessment based on cognitive learning that we have already discussed, that an academic bank of credits will be established, which will be like your DigiLocker type of thing, where you can store your credits, and these credits can be used, can be utilized at any stage of the career. Choice-based credit system will be the core for outcome-based education system. In the current system, we are following this thing, but it will emerge as you can say a transformed way in the new education policy. So choice-based credit system is have a choice. What should I study, or what type of subjects I should take? I'm not interested in subject X, but in existing system, because it is a part of the curriculum, I have to study it. I want to study Y in place of X. So I'm not getting the choice in the existing system. But if we talk about choice-based credit system or the NEP vision, it will give me the ample opportunity to choose the subject as per my requirement, as per my interest, as per my passion, or as per my industry requirement. So it will be the choices as in the cafeteria. We follow it, this particular concept in our day-to-day life. So every that is sure that every subject will be having certain credits. So I can identify, I can choose a particular subject which will have certain credits associated with it. And these credits I'll achieve if I am true in all the assessment aspects for that particular subject. And this assessment aspects or assessment, you can say, criteria will differ from subject to subject. In the subject where if the subject is skill-based subject, then obviously assessment will be different. If the subject is a conceptual based subject, then the assessment will be different. So based on the assessment criteria, the student will be evaluated, and the credits will be assigned to that student. So choice-based credit system, we have a flexibility to choose electives from a wide range of courses. We can add some additional courses also. Say suppose in my BTech program, we have around 150 credits in the whole program. But if a student is interested in learning 2, 3, 4 new subjects, which are not there in her curriculum, so the system should give the flexibility to the student that other than normal compulsory traditional subjects, she can study some new subjects which are of her interest, and these credits will be accumulated in her degree or the mark sheet. So other than my normal minimum required credits, which is say 150 for BTech program, if I'm acquiring 10, 15, 20 credits over and above, then my degree should be with those number of credits, 150 plus additional credits. So based on my choice, I can identify, I can select the subjects and then can learn. So it will give an interdisciplinary learning for the student. There are now so many MOOC courses, open learning platforms are there where a student can take the subject, and like SWAYAM portal, where the student is taking the subject and the credits are transferred to the university by the MHRD. So in that particular case, the student is free to learn at their own pace with the flexibility. University transfer of credits we already have in the existing system also. If the university is following or adopting this SWAYAM or NPTEL or similar type of platforms, then credits can be transferred. So this is going to be a compulsory aspect for all universities in due course of time under this NEP. So in this particular case, the student can enhance their skills or can increase the employability aspects by taking different subjects of his or her choice. They can take project work or industrial training also, so that the opportunities, or you can say the prospects for better placement will be increased. So for every education system or for every degree, there may be a variety of courses. In traditional system, we have fixed curriculum. There are 6 subjects in a particular semester. Student have to opt all the subjects in that semester. Maybe there are some departmental electives also, but if we talk about these type of courses, like say open elective courses or generic open elective courses, these are the terminologies in our university. So what these elective courses are offering? Open elective. Say suppose a student is from computer science background and she is interested in taking a subject from mechanical. So that subject will be offered by mechanical engineering department, and the student will take that subject under open elective category. Say the student from mechanical is interested in computer science subject, because nowadays so many companies are coming from IT background and they offer the jobs to mechanical also, but they want that student should be technical enough to work in software industry. So this system gives the flexibility to study a computer subject for the mechanical student. This particular category is generic open. Say I'm interested in yoga. There is a particular course on any open platform. I want to choose that particular yoga course, and I want to accumulate the credits for that particular course into my mark sheet or my degree. So generic open elective means any course. Open elective may be from say allied courses, maybe from other engineering branch or from maybe professional course. But generic maybe, say suppose a student is interested in Kathak, or maybe in music, or maybe in singing, or maybe in any sports. So this particular category gives the student a flexibility to choose any subject of his or her interest, and the credits will be added to the final mark sheet or the degree. So these type of flexibilities we need to give to the students so that he or she can can work for his, you can say, passion, or for his hobby also, for learning, you can say, new things, or can get new skills. So choice-based credit system is core to the upcoming this new education policy, though we have this aspect since last so many 3, 4, 5 years in existing universities, but there are so many universities still the curriculum is fixed and rigid. They don't follow choice-based credit system. So many guidelines or advisories have been issued by UGC to implement this choice-based credit system. Now gradually in NEP it will be made compulsory, where every university will follow this choice-based credit system. So just a quick review, because now we're talking about outcome-based education, we are talking about learning outcomes. So there are certain international agencies like ABET or Washington Accord or Chicago guidelines, which gave us this this outcome-based education, where we are assessing the outcome of the student in terms of some quantifiable, measurable values, where we can say that the outcome of this program is, say, 2.3 on a scale of 1 to 3. So whether it is okay or not, whether it is acceptable or not, or the institution has to do something new so that this outcome can be increased for a particular program. So this is this particular concept is outcome-based education, where we are having some O's. O is outcome. So it is program outcome. This program outcome is for a particular program. Maybe say we are running a BTech program, or maybe say BCom program or BA program. So for that program outcome. So we have framed our program outcomes that we are intended to achieve. Every program should be having a particular outcome. We have set a particular threshold that for this particular program, this 2, or maybe on a scale of 10, we should at least achieve 7.5. If we are achieving, then okay. If we are not able to achieve this 7.5, then there are certain you can say gray areas where we need to work to increase this program outcome. So program outcome is basically for the graduate programs, maybe any graduate, maybe it is BTech computer science or BTech mechanical, or maybe any graduate program. So POs are in generic for graduation. Program specific is specific to that particular program, say BTech computer science and engineering. So under this PO, we have this PSO. PO, these are standard for any graduate programs. PSOs are program specific, which we are talking about a particular program, say maybe BCom honors. So BCom honors, there will be few program specific outcomes which we intend to achieve. Program educational objectives are, say the students are doing, say, BTech computer science program. After this BTech, they will be placed in the industry. So whether they are getting those basically the objectives which are towards your vision and mission of the institution. So program educational objectives are basically say student, these will be measured after 4, 5, 6 years of graduation, whether you are able to inculcate those properties, those aspects in you or not, whether you have some ethical aspects in you. So based on your journey after graduating, whether you are continuing those professional ethics or the learnings which you are able to continue even after 4, 5 years, then your PEOs, program educational objectives, the ultimate objective is long-term gain. So in long-term aspect, whether the students are able to continue with their learnings in the industry or in the organization or not. And COs are the core to the outcome-based education. This is course outcomes. So for a particular program, say BTech computer science, there will be 50, 60, 70 subjects. So these subjects are courses, and for every course, we have course outcomes. So assessment will be for these courses. So outcome in examination system, we will assess whether the student is basically the outcome is up to the mark or not, whether there is some possibility for improvement, maybe in technical aspects, maybe in lecture delivery mechanism, or maybe in assessment aspects. So for every subject, we have course outcomes, and then we need to measure whether this particular subject at the end of the semester or end of the year, as the case may be, whether this particular outcome has been attained or not. If yes, okay. If not, then you need to tweak something in your teaching learning process. Maybe you have to refine your course outcomes, maybe you have to improve your teaching aspects, or maybe some assessment aspects. So POs, PSOs, PEOs, and COs are, you can say, the core to the outcome-based education, and this is the core to the new education policy also. So now the every institution will run the programs with the aim for PSO, PEO attainments. So this is your rough sketch how the attainment will be done. Every institution will have a vision. Vision means vision to grow. So every institution will have a vision. To achieve that particular vision, will have certain missions, and those missions are aligned with PEOs. So it is a long run aspects basically. So long run, long time planning. PEOs, as I said, after graduation of after graduating for 5 years, then we calculate PEOs. This PEOs immediately after graduation we calculate, and then immediately after the semester we calculate COs. So at every semester we calculate or we assess COs. At the end of the program means the completion of say BTech. So we calculate or we assess this PO and PSOs. After 4, 5, 6 years, we assess this PEOs, and maybe 15, 20 years of time, we see whether we are moving towards achieving our vision or not. Our vision may be to become the number one at the international level. So this is a long-term goal. So for this long-term goal, we have to set our priorities. We have to set our mission, how we will achieve this vision. And then for this mission, obviously, we in an academic system, the programs are the core system in education aspects. So program educational objectives will be set, and so and so. So it is basically backtracking aspect, bottom to top. So we will focus on COs. COs will give us the PSO and the POs. POs will give us PEOs, and it will lead towards our goal which we have set for the institution, for the university, or for the higher educational college or autonomous college or whatever it is. So basically core to this particular OBE is CO, that is course outcome. So if we are able to achieve our outcome as planned, then it will help us in achieving POs and thus PEOs and so and so. So this CO is the most important aspect. Course outcome states what a student on successful completing the course means the program, we are talking about a particular subject, and earning a pass grade and the credit. Obviously passing the course is not important, whether he will be able to perform or demonstrate the skills which he has learned, that is more important. So there are also referred as learning outcomes or the student outcomes. So in normal, in NEP, it is basically learning outcomes. In NB, it is course outcomes. So different terminologies are there. So here the emphasis is applying the knowledge imparted by a successful student in a course, whether whatever he has learned in this particular subject, whether he is able to utilize this knowledge in his profession or not, or what should be the outcome. Say there is a project in this subject, so whether he is able to implement the learning of those this particular subject into the project development or not. So this will define the outcome. So PEOs that we already discussed, PEOs say specific is PSO, then POs are standard engineering knowledge. So these are standard POs. There are 12 POs for all graduate programs. Now we need to achieve the PO in terms of a numerical value. So there are certain mathematics, certain calculations through which we can calculate, we can assess our outcomes of course of a course. Then for all the courses, if we club, then we can attain the program outcome, and so forth, program specific, and then PEOs also. And then we decide whether we need to change our mechanism, our system, so that we can gain or we can get this, we can improve this program attainment or PSO attainment or PEO attainment. So it starts with the course outcome, as I said, because the lowest aspect is course. Every course will have certain, you can say, plannings, whether this will be assessed by using assignment, quiz, mini project, some exams. Obviously, there will be there some surprise test may be there. So based on these assessments, you can say matrix, you need to see how the student is performing. So I'll not go into the details of all these COs, POs type of thing, but yes, my focus is assessment, because assessments leads towards this education aspect. So education or assessment are related to each other in some or the other way. Like this is Bloom's taxonomy. There are 6 labels. So far, there was a study in 2017 or 16 where it says that 91 or 92% of the questions, there was a survey, were based on first 3 aspects of Bloom's taxonomy, where the focus is on remembering. Remembering means define this. What is this? Or understanding, explain this. Or applying, there will be numerical. The student will be required to solve that particular numerical based on the formula or the algorithm or whatever it is. So maximum assessment was based on remembering, understanding, and applying. Very less focus was on analyzing, evaluating, or for some innovation, some new aspect from that subject. But now in NEP or in choice-based credit system or in outcome-based education, more and more focus is given towards this creating, evaluating, and analyzing. So questions should be asked, or the quizzes should be given, or maybe case studies or projects should be given to the students, which can assess these aspects for the students, so that they can think in a different way. This should not be a rote learning. There should not be a comparison type of thing, or just a small problem and then they are solving it. There should be some real-time system which the student should be able to visualize, and then should be able to, you can say, stimulate in the environment, and can get some new aspects from the, say, design and algorithm. So design and algorithm will give you something new. So the problem is not solved. He has to think in what way the design will, the algorithm will be designed, or maybe you have to give the best possible answer. So in this particular case, you have to design an algorithm which will give you the best result. So creation of the knowledge is the you can say the top of this learning aspect. So the questions, the quizzes, or the assessment aspect should focus towards upper 3 aspects of this Bloom's taxonomy pyramid, or you can say the levels. So these are core to the outcome-based education, where every subject will have course outcomes. There are standard program outcomes. Every course outcome will be mapped with the program outcomes with the level of 1, 2, 3. Though these are just in my institution, we are giving 1, 2, 3. You can give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or any level. So 1 is low, 3 is high, and 2 is medium. So this CO1 is mapped to PO1 with an intensity of 1. So the impact of this CO1 on PO1 is low. This PO3, there is no impact of CO1 on PO3. So we need to map our course objectives to the program outcomes, course outcomes to the program outcomes. So this is the mapping. And based on this particular mapping, we have to see whether we are attaining the COs and POs in a proper way or not. So whatever we have set our targets, whether we are achieving that target or not. If not, then obviously we need to do some introspection to improve the things. Like this is T1 is test 1. This test 1 is having a question which is mapped with CO1, and these are the students. So based on the marks achieved by the students on this particular T1, then we need to see what is the score. If you have said that 50% of the students should get more than 50%, this is our threshold value. So based on the marks scored by the students, we need to see what is the level of our attainment. So this is, so maybe 60% of the students are getting more than 60% or 70%, whatever target we have set. So for every aspect, we have to see whether we have attained this particular, this CO1 we have attained at 2, then CO3 we have attained 3. So this way basically we need to see the attainment of every aspect. So CO attainment calculation. So there will be some rubrics will be created, number of students above target below 50 or above 50 or whatever. So these we have to decide, and based on this we have to see the CO1 test 1 where there was a question, the attainment was 1, and for say model exam there was some question related to CO1 and CO2 or whatever. So this way we need to do the calculation, and then based on calculation you need to see how much is the score for a particular CO, then in turn the PO. Now in this outcome based education there are two methods. One is direct, which we are saying through assignment quizzes or whatever, for program outcome, because it will be assessed at the end of the program, at the end of the BTech or BCom or BSc program. So at this, for attainment of the for evaluation of the attainment of this program outcome, we need to see whether some indirect mechanism is also there, like survey. So if my employers are satisfied with the progress of the students, they'll give good feedback. This is also a program outcome. If my students are happy with the institution, so I'll conduct a survey, and then based on the survey, the score received from the students, we will decide whether we are achieving the program outcome or not. So there are two methods, direct or indirect. Direct is basically based on the course outcomes, and then indirect is based on the surveys, or you can say you are referring the say maybe the social media also. So if people are writing good about my university, so we are able to achieve the program outcome as intended for. So this way, by applying certain mechanism, certain mathematics, we are calculating this program outcome at the end of the program, and this is giving us basically, you can say, numerical value where we stand, and whether there is some improvement required for CO level, or maybe for indirect mechanism level or whatever. If my employers are not happy, then maybe there are few subjects which we need to add based on their feedback. So if we have added those subjects, obviously it will impact the program outcome, because now the students are getting better employment opportunity. So by this way, we are calculating our POs, and like this. So these are the COs, these are the attainments of COs, and these are mapped with PO, and based on certain mathematics, we are saying that our attainment for PO is say 2.1, but our target was 2.5. It means there is some problem with the curriculum. So we need to revamp our structure of the curriculum, the mechanism of assessment, the mechanism of teaching learning process, and then we will try to improve. So basically the outcome based education is the core for where we can assess, we can measure the outcome of the students in terms of program outcomes, or means at lower level in terms of course outcomes, and then this PO will be used for PEO, and then will be used for mission and achieving the vision. So that is all about outcome based education, and as per UGC mandate, as per NBA, NEC, which are in the existing education system also. So every institution will be required to get this NEC accreditation, or technical education or NBA accreditation, or similar accreditations every council is having. So the core for this academic system is the outcome based education. So this is all about which is from my side. If anyone is having any query, I'll be happy to resolve.
Thank you, sir. If any participant is having any query, you can ask. Anyone having any question, any doubt? I think, sir, no question.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Arun.
Sir, just wait for a
Yes.
minute. So now I may ask. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you are there. Sunita, ma'am, for formal vote of thanks. Ma'am, wait for a minute. Ma'am, wait for a minute. Yes, ma'am. Please unmute yourself.
Myself, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A very good afternoon to one and all present here for this enlightening morning session of the refresher course on reinventing skill education in the light of National Education Policy 2020. It is such an honor for me to get the opportunity to thank our respected speaker, Professor Arun Sharma. Professor Sharma is currently Professor Dean Examination Affairs and founder head of the department AI and Data Sciences at Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women, IGDTUW Delhi. Sir has also the additional responsibilities of Director NIRF Accreditation and IQAC. Sir is also the Managing Director of IGDTUW Aneation Foundation, which is an incubation center where Sir is managing and supporting 13 startup companies, mainly led by young women. Sir has also been instrumental in establishing Center of Excellence Artificial Intelligence with a financial grant of approximately rupees 8 crore from DST Government of India. I would like to thank Sir for such an interesting, informative talk on the new education framework under NEP 2020. Sir informed us about the about how the education system is shifting from a system of affiliation-based colleges with a set syllabi to independent entities with flexibility to frame their own syllabus and keep it dynamic as per the changing needs of the job market. The multiple entry and exit options that will be available for the students, capping of fees by the government, a new regulatory framework which focuses on ethics, development, EQ, focusing on outcome-based learning. On behalf of all the participants of the refresher course, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Teaching Learning Center, Ramanujan College, DDU Kaushal Kendra, and Shri Vishwakarma Skill University, Haryana, for organizing a refresher course on such a relevant theme. I would also express my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Sharma, who have taken time out from his busy schedule for this session. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. It's my pleasure to be the part of this initiative. Thank you all.
Thank you once again, sir. So all the participants, there is one more session at 2 p.m. So take a break right now and we'll meet online at 2 p.m. So thank you. Thank you all the participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.